Hello, friends. We are back. It's the Stopher Show. I am Stopher Cavins, and what a glorious night it is. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. You know the deal. We do this every Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, because I'm in California and I have a day job, and that's how it goes. We also I offer private in-person. Back up. For you folks, it will be private readings done by Zoom or by phone or by email. If you would like a private reading, just go to my website. It's stophercavins.com. Super easy. stophercavins.com. We've got the 30-minute sessions, 45-minute sessions. We can do a combo that's mediumship and psychic connection. That's 50 minutes. And we've got appointments as early as this weekend, as I think some this week as well. If you are not into the whole sitting for a reading on the phone or on Zoom, you can do an email reading. If you don't have the time or you're just not into that, you can go to the website, punch in your 4 specific questions. I will, within a few days, record a reading for you. Usually it's, depending on what kind of energy is there, it's 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes long. So it's a great value, and I will answer your questions. Right. And it's kind of cool because, during the readings where I have someone in front of me, a lot of times they're giving me context, which is fine. But with the email readings, you're not there. So I'm just giving you, raw and real what I get. And then, it's up to you to kind of make sense of it. I get a lot of good feedback from it. People seem to like them. Anyway, so that's that. Let's check in to see how everyone is doing. I want to say hi to the folks that are here. We've got Shannon Hutchinson. Nice to see you again. Jack 8.45. Suzanne, as always. Samantha, Renisha, Joe. Thank you for this is interesting. Okay. Hi, Stopher. Got to tell you, I almost wish you weren't as accurate as you are. Really? I have some great stuff to tell you. I've got some stuff to tell you. Okay. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, I'm down. Thank you for saying that. Maria. Hello. All right. Okay. So I've got the questions. I've already kind of put out there who's, I think it's pinned on the comments, whose questions I have. Some questions came in today. Your questions, if you submitted a question to the Stopher Show at stophercavins.com, it will be next week. Okay. So we'll do like the cutoff every week at like Sunday, just so I can, last week I was a bit of a mess. I was all over the place. And my husband's like, do you need help, bro? Do you need help organizing? Maybe we should, start working on this stuff sooner. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. All right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anything licensed. I'm no longer a real estate agent licensed. So if you need more than just my objective third-party opinion of your energy, please consult with the proper professionals. Okay. Cool. Jet. Hi. All right. Let's, Jack. So Jack, I'm assuming that whatever you're asking here probably is time sensitive. I'm going to include Jack here. All right, so this is his question. I'm going to start. We'll come back to it. Didn't get a chance to email. You read me, and part 1 of Saving My House came true. Good deal. Thanks. Tomorrow is next court appearance. Any insight on getting case dismissed? All right, we're going to read that at the end. Cool. Let's get into it. We've got, I made banners because I prepared, so that's cool. We're going to start with a question from Ellen K. All right, we'll jump over here. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Ellen K writes into the Stopher Show and says, we've been searching to buy a house for over a year now, but nothing seems to be the right fit. Could you tell if we're going to buy a house eventually? And if so, when? Anything specific to look for? Thanks so much, Ellen. All right. And also the caveat that I don't ever claim to see the future. I don't have superpowers any more than any of us do. We're all connected to energy. What I do when I make predictions is I'm just feeling into that energy. And I'm giving you my opinion of where it's headed, right? I'm feeling that flow within the context you give me, and I'm telling you basically what freeway you're on. What the traffic looks like on that freeway, where it's pointed, where it's headed. Uh, you know, different things you can expect. At the end of the day, you decide what happens. Okay, that goes for everybody, not just Ellen. All right, so I did spend a little bit of time before we jumped on here live, and I sat with that specific question. I've got a year. I feel like I want to take the calendar over 1 year from now. So I don't think you find something. We'll say this: the possibility of you finding the right thing, because they're showing me a lot of very specific boxes. I do think you've got a unique situation. Is kind of what I'm getting from this. It's going to be about a year. I do think, on a side note, and this is an opportunity. Like I said before, whether you jump on it or not is up to you. I almost feel like you probably won't go down this avenue, but there will be either like a conversation or something shown to you. And I think this is within the next 3 months. It almost feels like a temporary kind of either living situation, or where if you're in a lease or some kind of thing where we kind of get creative so that we can have like it just feels like what happens between now and a year feels a little temporary, or a little bit kind of uh, shifted, or um, worked out a little bit. There's something where we're working something out. So watch out for that. It will be an opportunity. You can do it or not. Um, and then when it comes to the what's next, I do have a couple things that I feel the energy is showing me. Look for the words, and I got this um, similar on another reading, and it turned out the lady knew exactly what it was. But watch out for the words like river, or river walk, or river bend, or something like that. So I don't know if it's going to be a street name, a neighborhood, a sign. I feel like the place that's going to be shown to you that meets all your criteria possibly be will have something to do with that. I also feel like it will be an older couple, um, man and woman, that will be selling it. Now, I know here in the United States, usually you don't get access to the couple, but sometimes you can, if you're in the home, you can tell, you see pictures on the wall and that type of thing. And then it will be, like I say, it will check all those boxes, except it feels to me like there might be some updating. It might have like carpet, and we need to, so it will be like kind of an older vibe, but the potential is there. And I also feel like it's either, I don't feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. It feels like it's near like either a quaint, I don't think it's like at a downtown. It doesn't feel like downtown, but like a quaint, like village type of area, or Main Street, walkabout kind of area. Because they're showing me the energies are showing me my hometown, which is called Evansville, Indiana, and there's like a little river walkway, Main Street. So they're showing me that type of thing. So yeah, I think it feels like we turned that calendar once, and you're probably in this time, or like springtime of 2026. I hope that helps. All right, Ellen, thanks for writing in. Let's go to Christina. We're going to answer a question for Christina. All right, it worked. Okay, I like this one. So I'm going to riff on this one because it's a lot of like spiritual kind of questions. And let's see where it goes. Let me jump back into the comments, see how everyone's doing. All right, Donna, hi. She says, hi, Stephen. I'm Stopher, but cool. All right. So Donna, and that's heavy. If you could just follow the instructions there that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, I'll be happy to look into that. But we have a bit of a format that I'm trying to stick by, just so I can keep things organized. So if you could just email me that question, we'll do it next week. Okay. What's your name again? Christina, with the K's and the Y's. Do you? She writes in. Do you use pendulums, tarot cards, or dowsing rods? And the very easy answer to that is no, I do not. When I started reading, I used, and kind of what got me started in opening up, some of the feeling energy and understanding and communicating with energy was oracle cards. My auntie, who passed away in 2014, she was known as the Moon Queen, Deborah. She was a tarot card reader, very, very talented. And so, kind of was in the family. I was aware of tarot cards. And then I was helping a friend back in 2020 market his spirit mediumship business. I knew him for like 18 years, didn't know he was a spirit medium. And in the process of that, I started learning about oracle cards. I didn't know what oracle cards were. The cards were great. I was doing events and parties and reading cards for people. And then I realized I didn't need the cards. And sometimes, the cards can be fine, but for me, it actually, it's the feeling, and they can even get in the way a little bit. I mean, they're fun. They're a good add, but so the short answer is no, I do not use any of those. Do I own a pendulum? Sure. Dowsing rods? I don't get it. Okay, so there's more here. They say, I don't know who they is, but they say you should ask that any and all beings are not from that are not from the light should leave your environment. But they also say that you can be dealing with tricksters. So, if you're asking these tricksters to leave, why would they stay? If I'm calling my guardian angel and spirit guide team to ask them questions, how could a trickster answer my question while using these tools? Okay. I want to make it clear also, just because I believe something or I'm telling you, what I believe, doesn't mean that I'm trying to get you to believe that. But maybe question it. That's fine. I don't believe in most all of this. The trickster thing, I don't get that. And it's because I've never experienced a trickster. I get asked a lot also about evil entities. I've never encountered an evil entity. And then I think I kind of addressed this last week when we talk about the guides and the ascended masters. I don't really put a lot of stock into that. It's just kind of all energy. We can add a lot of words to it, but then at the end of the day, we don't know until we get to the other side, and I'm not there yet. What I feel is energy, the loved ones in spirit. If you want to believe in angels and guides, it's all just part of the flow. From the beginning of time, everything was set into motion, and that's kind of where we're headed. And whatever happens was inevitable, right? It was always going to happen, but we have free will. But our free will was always going to lead us there, right? So the energy is just, we read it, we feel it, we connect with it, regardless of what you call it. And it's not here to trick us. It's not here to send us on the wrong direction. Sometimes our own mind might interpret it wrong, and then we might go down a path that needs to be course corrected later. For most of my life, I'm the king of that. So I don't know. I throw a lot of that stuff out. Christina, with the tricksters, I can't get there. And I don't, when I read, it's all my intentions. My intentions are always to be in a good space, connect with energy in a positive way that is always helpful, and so when I go into a reading or anything, I don't need to have this elaborate conversation with spirit. They already know what I'm here for, right? It's already worked out with my intentions. Now, if I get into a space emotionally and mentally where my intentions start getting kind of yucky, then I need to maybe back off. But my intentions are always kind of set to a default of working in that beautiful light and that kind of space. All right. There is a little bit more. Do you believe in MBOs? This is most benevolent outcome. Psychics say if you request a most benevolent outcome, you are asking your guides for help, and they get right on it. I think my guides are slow. They're not getting right on it. Okay. Most benevolent outcome. Yeah. For me, it's just all words. I don't get into some of the semantics and the words that a lot of readers do. And when it comes to guides being slow, I think you're just on a slow timeline. I think the energy flow that you're in just probably means your timelines are, um, I mean, they're not bad. They're what they're supposed to be. They're just probably not lined up with where your human brain, your lizard brain thinks that it should be, or what the world is telling you those timelines should be. Because I always thought that I was on some bad timeline, or I was screwing everything up because I didn't, because a lot of my, the universe or the world told me that, you know, get out of high school, go to college, get a job, and you should have things worked out by this age. That's not how it worked out for me. It wasn't that I was on a bad timeline. I was just on a different timeline than what the world was telling me. Right. So, yeah, Samantha, thank you. All right. Bernicia says, I am, the Moon Queen. I am the Moon Child. That's so cool. You would love my auntie. She's actually on YouTube. If you look up Deborah Cavins or Moon Queen, the videos are probably from like 2010 or 11. So they're very grainy, but she was ahead of her time with, I actually wrote a blog about her. You can find on my website. So let me take this down. Anyway, she was blogging like every day back in like 2008, 9, 10, and she was on YouTube. She was on just all the platforms before that really became what it is now. So pretty cool, pretty inspirational, my auntie. Anyway, I hope that helps. And Christina, just because if you believe in any of that, I say good for you. It's just not what I do, or what the words that I put on things. So I'm not making fun or anything like that. All right, we're going to read a question from C. C. All right. Hola, Stopher. Da-da-da. Okay, I recently went to the car dealer to have my car serviced, oil change and battery check. And 2 days and $2,000 later, I drove out of there with a sinking feeling. These people did none of the things I paid for, with the only exception being maybe the oil change. So my question is, did these lowlives really do everything they said they did? And if they didn't, will they give me a full refund if I challenge it? I can go to another dealer and get a diagnostic. All right. See, I feel that not everything was done, or at least it's like what they proposed to you. It feels a little bit gimmicky. It feels a little bit sold. It feels a little bit marketed. Like, we're gonna make it this grand thing. We did all this stuff, and it really was kind of a more broken down, basic version of that. So the short answer with that is no, not quite the way it was sold to you. So no, they did not do everything the way it was pitched to you. Um, and also with that, it's almost like there's a possible, and I hate to be like an alarmist, but I almost feel like there's kind of this, and I've always wondered this, but I've never had this problem, but it's almost like they might have even tweaked something or kind of set it up to where you have to come back. I don't want to use the word sabotage because I don't think it's full on that, but there's something that feels like um, you might, maybe a cap wasn't tightened all the way, and so yeah, there's a little bit of skullduggery happening here. I do want to say this. I do think there's an opportunity to go back, deal with either a different group of people at the same dealership. Maybe this is a manager, maybe this is somebody from a different department, because they're showing me a bit of a circumnavigation here. Be extremely tactful. I don't think you can go in there and be like, "Yo, I did this," and I'm gonna, making threats and going, wild, which is probably what I would have done. But being tactful, and I don't see a refund. I think that's a very difficult energy for me to connect the refund. But I do think you can get what they're showing me is like help. You can get somebody that will actually either take a look at it or get a different team to kind of take a look at it. It's almost like we go line by line. And then I think you'll feel a little bit better about how this went down. Probably not completely. It still feels like there's a little bit of a never doing that again. I don't think you'll go back after this, but yeah, there is an opportunity to go back and deal with somebody else, and kind of circumnavigate the folks you dealt with before and how they did it. All right. Good luck with that. Be tactful though. I don't think you can go in there with like demands or threats or anything. It's got to be super low key. All right. Thank you. See, we're going to go to our friend Suzanne S. Thank you for being here, Suzanne. My question tonight is about my two older brothers who passed away. And it wasn't too long ago, so sorry for your losses. The first one, Richard, passed on June 2nd, 2023 at the age of 85. And Bernard, February 8th, he passed on February 8th of 2024. So we're just coming up on a year, all right, at the age of 81. Richard was very afraid to die, and his death seemed like a hard one. Does he have a message for me? For Bernard, he donated his body to science. Was that helpful for science, science people? And where is his body now? Does he have a message for me? Okay, so where you at? I feel like this is a combined message as I connected to them. There's definitely like I've never actually heard the spirit say this to me before, because I feel like, how do they, I miss you. It's like, there's a lot of like missing kind of energy. Like I'm missing you. I miss our talks, or I miss just kind of these little quirky things. And like I said, I've never like got that specific message from spirit, because kind of what I'm shown always is that's more of a human thing, right? Is missing somebody, or but maybe you needed to hear that. So that comes through. Also, just really sending a lot of warmth. I feel like with at least one of them, and I feel like I want to go to Bernard here. Maybe that wasn't something that was coming forward easily when he was here in the physical. So there's a lot of this coming forward. Like I say, feels kind of shared. So this would be from both of them. Would you understand? I feel like I got to talk about Richard sharing something with a biological father. It could be like a name, or even like following in the footsteps. Is kind of what I'm getting this like recycled, like where me and father are kind of attached. But there's also a message here about forgiving dad as well. This feels to me like it's a little bit more with Richard and possibly you. So he would just want you to know that on the other side, there is like this relinquishing of any of that yucky stuff that was connected between him and dad, or that he might have been holding either for himself or for you. It's kind of what I need to understand as well. He says, I'm in the mountains. So he tells me that he connects with spiritually with the mountains. And that's kind of, I mean, he's everywhere. He's anywhere and everywhere all at once, especially with you and in your energy. But there's like this connection to mountains. So I hope you can understand that. And then with Bernard, yes, his donation was helpful. Specifically, I want to go like in this area, frontal lobe and eyes. And then you're asking, where's his body? Now, forgive me if this sounds like kind of weird, but I almost like kind of want to, I feel like things were like pulled apart a little bit, like used. And then, so there are parts of his organs and that type of thing that feel to me like they're preserved. And it would be in like an educational. So I don't know if this is like a university lab or that type of thing, but it feels like an educational setting. And then I think it feels to me like other parts of his remains were cremated. And then they're also showing me where there's an observation. I feel like his name for this donation, either his name or the family's name, is somehow, I don't know if this is on a plaque or if this is written in a book, but he's showing me where it's like we can see there's an appreciation here. I don't think there was a specific message from Bernard, but both come forward with a lot of warmth and a lot of love. All right. All right, Suzanne, you are welcome. Does that make sense to you? And anybody that's getting a reading, if you can put in the comments, even if it doesn't make sense, that's fine too. You can say it doesn't make sense. Maybe we'll get it later. But if it does make sense, I would love to hear. You don't have to like type a whole soliloquy, but whatever you got is much appreciated. Who's next? Who is next? Denny. Denny's next. Hey, Denny. Thank you for writing in. Denny says, I was wondering about these energies around me for the next year. Does everything remain quiet, or do you see anything interesting coming in terms of trips or my little crafting business or anything else fun? Yeah, so mainly we're going to talk about the crafting business. And when you say little crafting business, this is not going to remain little for very long. Over the next 12 to 18 months, and this is going to come forward like in opportunities and like inspiration, and I think it's like feels really kind of powerful, where like a switch where you probably won't have something on your radar, and then all of a sudden you see it. Maybe you're inspired by a YouTube video or somebody coming forward with something. And I think there's a painting level. I think there's a painting and then also a painting level to this crafting. And I feel like I also want to take old things and make them new. So I don't know if this is like taking furniture and kind of like refurbishing, adding new parts to it, that type of thing. But yeah, there's a painting element that kind of comes into play, and if it's already happening, it evolves and kind of increases. And then there's also taking something old and making it new in a crafting kind of sense here. I also think you actually will turn this into an LLC, because it feels like it becomes more like organized and an actual business, where we might even have like a Yelp page or something that's online, or even a business card. There's something that feels a little official. So you might actually do like an LLC as well. It just feels like it gets more of an organized, rather than just we're sitting around doing crafts and occasionally like selling them to a friend or family. And then just for fun, I didn't sense any trips. Doesn't mean they're not happening. I didn't get any information about that, but I do have to talk about like a family project. So I don't know if this is a family trip, if there's a family reunion, a family genealogy thing. It just feels like families coming together to do something kind of fun and exciting and really, like I say, family oriented. So that's coming up. And it feels to me like it's something you plan for a while, and then it will happen months from now. But the planning part of it is either already happening or happens pretty soon. So, like I said, if that's not already in the works or being talked about, a conversation's about to happen. All right. Good luck with everything in this year. Hi, Lena. Thank you for being here. It's been a while. All right. So, Lena, we're going to have to, Lena hasn't been here for a while, so Lena doesn't know the new format. Let me turn down this. Just follow the instructions there at the bottom of the screen there, Lena, and I'll read your question next week. And also try to be real specific. So I know you're asking about finances. If you can ask about job or, a little bit more specific, but I can probably work with that. Question from Tony B. Tony, thank you. My question, with gratitude. Oh, I'm putting together my first film after graduating film school in June of 24. Congratulations. Our concept is to show Indigenous artists cultural practices featured in our beautiful West Coast, BC, which I believe is British Columbia. Is this a fruitful conception for a docu-series? Please. All the best, Tony. Pardon me. Okay. Yes. Where are you at? Yes, I think it will. Timelines don't seem. I think it's like almost whatever you believe will happen. Timeline or whatever it's kind of like set, or because it's almost showing me you have a bit of a concept of a plan, a concept of a plan, right? There's a bit of a bracket. I don't think it's a full plan. It's a concept of a plan, but the timing portion of it, it feels like you're accurately kind of understanding the timelines. I'm not getting like where this stretches out crazy longer or speeds up crazy shorter. Uh, I like it a lot. I think when we say fruitful, they're showing me this really has the potential. Like I say, if you stay on this, if you make the concept of a plan a little bit more of a plan and kind of carry it out the way it's supposed to, it has the potential to be shown. It's almost like they're showing me like a small to medium festival, like maybe it's a film festival, or maybe it's an indigenous kind or an art festival or something like that. So it actually will be shown in front of a small to medium sized group of people. I also think there is an inclusion of animals in this that maybe you're underestimating. So I don't know if this will require different equipment or different skills, but it's almost like we're filming a part of it or including a part of it that is indigenous animals and that type of thing in the setting as well. And then another thing that's kind of cool to me is it's almost like an organization either sponsors or gives an endorsement for this. Once it is, if it ever does get completed, it's got a real potential to kind of get an attachment from like an organization. It might be an indigenous organization or some kind of artistic thing. I don't know, but it's like either a sponsorship or an endorsement. So the short answer is yes. It's all good, but cultivate that concept of a plan. You can make your husband moderator of the chat. He would get a little wrench. Yeah. Oh, let me see if I've got. Is he here? Has he said hi? I'm just scrolling through to see if Christian. If anybody sees Christian Delgado, say hi. What was I going to do? Hold on, real quick. This will be fun, I think. Oh. How do I do this? I wanted to add banners. Oh. Media. Bear with me, guys. I'm just. I want to show you a picture of my husband. He's so cute. Look at him. Let's put this down. That's my guy. How adorable. I think he went to a wedding. So his friends are my friends as well, but a lot of them are in the desert or in Palm Springs, and I don't get the opportunity to go to like their weddings and their events. So he has to go solo sometimes. So yeah, that's my guy. And now I have to figure out how to put that down. Hide. And now it's back to my ugly mode. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Thank you, Bernicia. Thank you. Thank you. We're getting right through it. All right, Marite. All right, Marite writes in. We live in Central Georgia. We are renting out 4 small family homes. Will the homes increase in value, and will we have some rental income from them with all the governmental changes that are predicted? So this year is a little slower. I know with a lot of the federal changes that are happening in other areas, it's like things are happening pretty quickly, right? Whether you like them or not, they're happening quickly. This is something where it feels to me like it's a little bit of a, I think some of the changes are put in sooner than later, but it's like kind of a slow burn. And then it's like next year is when it picks up a little bit more. probably like the end of next year. So I do think this happens a little slower than is being promised or than you probably think. And I'm getting like it's nothing crazy. Um, I actually think one of your properties you'll have an opportunity. Like I said before, you don't have to do it, but this will be shown to you because they're showing me the platter. You'll have the opportunity to sell one of them 12 to 18 months from now. Uh, so if it doesn't work for you, then you don't do it. But I think somebody that comes forward, or there's a situation that kind of presents itself that where it might make a little more sense than you're even thinking it does now. Okay. Um, but with the value and kind of the whole rental thing, there are ebbs and flows over the next couple years, specifically this year, the next 12, 11 months here. So, but overall, with those ebbs and flows, it kind of ends up with a small increase. Um, not just in money, but increase in value and increase in perceived value and that type of thing, and even being able to rent it a little easier whenever there's a vacancy. So it all kind of is headed in a better direction, but it's a slow burn. Hang in there. I think we got one more. And it's our friend Nivra. Hey, Nivra, thank you for being here. All right. I'm enjoying the weekly format. That's Nivra saying that. I'm enjoying it too. I'm enjoying being with you guys. Thank you, Nivra. All right. Nivra says, I'm currently working on a heart-based healing technique, and I'm wondering if it will be both beneficial and financially successful tool to add to my practice. I don't feel like I am in the right physical location now, and I hope the Carolina move is a better place. Do you see an online format for classes, psychic work, and energy healing being potential way to kickstart my practice? Um, Okay, long question. I know psychic work, teaching, and energy slash breath work seems to be calling me and kicking me to get moving. Yes, it's all there. It's all there. I'm going. Hope you can understand this. The energies are taking me into more of like a technical kind of energy here, where uh, but the energies are behooving me to like tell you to. It's almost like get more certifications, get more like technical. It's like I want to connect to like more of a clinical, educational. It's like hitching our wagon to those type of things. So there is like I know there's that spiritual thing here that's driving you, but there's also a bit of something that feels a little bit more clinical and educational as well. So any kind of certification you can do to add to this, I'm thinking that's kind of where it's taking us, because it's like we need to get more plaques on the wall, and I think that will and I mean that literally and figuratively, right? Whereas we need more letters next to our name, or we need some more plaques on the wall. And I don't think it requires you to go back to university or something like that, but there's a little bit more of an education specifically that gives you like something to brag about, right? It's not just about learning the techniques. There's like an element of showing that we've got this skill or this certification or something like that. I hope you can understand that. But yeah, and the move, I think it's mostly an online thing, to be honest. And I do think I'm still wanting to connect you to like either yoga studios or educational organizations. There's like there's a network element to it as well, Nivra, that you may or may not be seeing or understanding yet. But I like it. I like it. I think this is also a bit of a add. It's like we start with one thing and then we kind of add brick by brick. Okay. I don't think it's something that where you kind of start out offering 4 or 5 different things. Feels to me like it starts with, the one that's the strongest, the secret sauce that's the most flavorful right now. And then you slowly add. It's like every 6 months, 8 months, we add something. Was there anything else in there? But yeah, it's kind of like when I'm reading, like you're working on the heart-based healing technique. It's like we need to kind of further. There's more to it, is what I'm trying to say. There's more to that technique and that philosophy or whatever it is, where we can just get a little bit deeper with it. I think you've uncovered most of it, but there's a little bit of an extra ingredient to the recipe that I think is going to throw it over the top. Oh, Christian's here. Hey, baby. We made a face of me. Yeah, we did. I showed your picture to everyone. They said you're cute. I kind of agreed. All right. Will you email about the workshops? Yes, I will, Marty, because I've got 11 people signed up. I think I'm going to keep it at that. 11 seems right to me. So, oh, and I got one more question to answer before we go. I haven't forgot about you, Jack. But yeah, with the workshop, so that starts next week. It starts a week from tomorrow. I'm already kind of cultivating things, and I will be emailing probably later this week, right? Today I set up the Zoom, so I've got the links. It's going to be great. Let's answer this for Jack, and then I'm going to need water. I'm going to go. Okay, so tomorrow is next court appearance. Any insight on getting my case dismissed? I like the dismissal. What it's almost like this is where, because I feel like there's an other side, but it almost doesn't feel like people. I almost feel like it feels like an I don't know if this is the state or is the government. It just feels like almost like an organizational kind of energy. So if you understand that, but it's like they have to. Here's a prediction, because it's almost like they have to provide. There's a caveat. It's like if they can provide this, and I think they'll be given an opportunity. I don't know how long it will be. Maybe it's like next month or 3 weeks. They have to provide this, or they have to do this, or show cause for X, Y, and Z. And I don't think they'll be able to. So that would lead me to believe that there's a very high chance for it to be dismissed or kind of modified to where you're feeling a little more smooth about it. Okay, so good luck on the court tomorrow, but I feel like it just is giving me where there's some kind of stipulation where somebody has to do something or show something. It might be you, but I feel like it's on the other side, and then that decides what happens next. And I'm kind of the scales are kind of going more in your favor of it being dismissed. Okay, so yeah, it just feels like we're not talking about this isn't like a wife or a family member, or it feels like an organization, or maybe it's a government, maybe it's a criminal or traffic court. I don't know. I don't remember what we talked about, but anyway, good luck tomorrow. I think you'll be good. I think you'll have much more information, and then, like I said, there's another step, and it feels to me like it's most likely, I'd say like 80% to work out in your favor. Cool. Let's see. Time. See, what are we talking about? Okay. I had a mortgage fraud. I had mortgage fraud. Attorneys filed foreclosure with. Okay, I kind of do remember this. They won because I was sick. Tomorrow there's a hearing to get eviction case dismissed in a landlord tenant court. Okay, I'm not understanding all of it, but I hope that helps you. I think it's like one more court appointment. It's not called an appointment. Anyway, court visit. This is what happens when my brain is giving out. All right, you'll be good. You'll be good. All right, didn't get to mail you this week. I wanted to ask about my hip. Okay, so we'll do that. Ashika, we'll do that. Just email me, and then we'll do it next week. Sound good? We'll do it next Monday. All right. If anybody wants a reading, I've got appointments available this week. You can just go to stophercavins.com. You can do the email reading. You can do it by Zoom, phone. I've done FaceTime. Yeah, we can do all of it. If you're in the LA area within like 7 to 10 miles of me, we can do it in person. I'm done. do want to see how everybody's doing. Joe and Heather, I don't know if you wanted to discuss whatever it was live, or if you want to, if you're even here, or if you want to talk to me privately. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, as always. All right, Heather, can you give the info for the class you are holding in February? Yeah, Heather, if you go to my community tab, I think maybe like 3 or 4 posts ago, probably a few weeks ago, I put the link. Did I also put it on? Yeah, I put the link, and then it'll take you to like a Google form, and it's got some information about it. Starts on February. It starts next Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow, and it'll be 6 p.m. Pacific. I know you're on the same time zone as me. We'll do like an hour and a half. It'll be pretty light as far as it's not gonna be like we're practicing hardcore mediumship or it's really getting into more so the relationship with spiritual universal energy, learning how to understand it, maybe a little bit of healing, just connection overall. And I'm kind of fashioning it similar to a course I did probably a little over a year ago. It was called The Road to Psychic Mediumship, and it was really kind of a beginner fundamentals, like I say, light, a little bit light before you get into all the practicals and stuff like that, and just understanding how we connect to the world and each other. So that's kind of what it's based on. It's going to be a little different, not on the nose the same. All right. Well, this is cool. Westeel. Yes, Stopher is very accurate. Without asking a specific question, he managed to tell me some stuff in my life, and he was spot on. Yay. It's always the goal. All right, I'm going to get off here. Thank you all. If you have a question, send it to me, the Stopher Show at stophercavins.com. We'll do it next week. All right. Love you. Bye, guys.